But getting into the best wave, Vaughan, it
Mm,
is double E, double dunk, Ethan Ewing in the round of 16 up against O'Leary's Bra, laying down the best tracks we've ever seen in the bowl. A
yeah.
remarkable performance. And get this, three waves, three excellent scores, a
Mm.
9.43, a 9.33, and an 8.5. They were his only contributions in that heat. Pure excellence.
Ah,
The 9.33 we can get into first. Does his signature wind up into a warp speed carve out of the top where he does this full Tokyo drift as he's coming around the hairpin, fully intentional, like the outermost limit of controlled precision and speed in a turn. It was so radical. You can watch it on a continuous loop, that turn.
mm-hmm.
Flows that straight into another hypnotic current-esque wind up and drops the clutch and just fucking demos the coping with that signature layback snap to drift. He actually accelerates just as he's reaching the coping and hits the section with the absolute maximum force and speed he can generate. The was slow-mo of that turn is fucking insane. Go and cop it again. uh, then, the 9.43 really was the biggest mic drop you'll ever see in the bowl. Cunt lays down the most scintillating three-turn combo in the history of this spot and doesn't even bother milking it to the inside to hit the shorey. Full credit to him because,
Yeah.
had he milked it to the inside, maybe he gets an extra smidgen of a point that puts it up into that perfect 10 range, but bouncing through to the inside would have just sullied what was one of the great
Oh,
moments in the history of power surfing. I'm glad he didn't.
same. Yeah, he couldn't have he couldn't have mic dropped it harder. Like he couldn't have said "fuck you," I'm not going onto the inside any better if he just pulled those little perky cheeks apart and just pointed the fucking corn directly at the judging tower. It was the best claim of all time, in my view. Best claim ever. Like, what more can I fucking do on this wave? There is nothing, mate. Sully is the word, man. I actually said to him in the post-heat interview, Smithy, it was a fucking mate. It was the furthest thing from a post-heat interview in the history of the was. All I did was just fall to my knees and just Wayne's World the cunt for fucking 3 minutes. We're not worthy. And I said to him, like, mate, I'm so glad you didn't just disgrace that wave and that performance by bunny hopping and weaving on the inside for a tappy tap tap on the inside. Fuck, it was cool, man. I think the big takeaway for me is these judges need to get a sense of occasion, man. Like, fuck, like everyone on that entire beach and amphitheater seeing it in real time knew that was a 10. And it bums me out that, like, we're probably going to see a 10 at the fucking on the Goldie for a backside air rev by Italo or a fucking front side air. And I'm like, mate, show me better power surfing than that, like from start to finish. You won't show me. But Oki, that's it. Nothing else.
Yeah, let's relive it. So, turn one is that signature power jam in the pocket on a really cupped out section where he really does well to fit the turn in perfectly. He snaps it so hard in the pocket with so much down the line momentum, keeps the nose out of the water, goes straight into a super tight roundhouse in the pocket, which he somehow turns into a backside snap on the foam ball, which was an amazing piece of surfing because he gets that cosmic speed squirt from the foam ball and just fucking decimates the final section with the turn of the event, the turn of the year, very likely. A vertical layback snap to perfectly controlled board slide done with unprecedented power, speed, and control. Rides out smooth as can be into the mic drop kick out. And I can reveal, Vaughan, that the WAS has actually tracked the spray from that last turn with its satellite spray tracker. And apparently it has just passed Vladivostok and is heading east towards Chernobyl, carving out a green valley of apple trees in its wake. So well played, Double E.
Fuck, what a wave, man. Like, yeah, as you say, I think at the time, I was just thinking, wow, this guy is fucking just in sync. Like, it felt like at that point, you just weren't going to see anyone stop him. And yeah, as I said, after the interview, I said to him, like, hey, man, I was almost going to say to you, Eth, let me just spare you doing any talking because I know it's not your thing and I'll just fucking go for it. And he had a full laugh. And you could tell he was feeling it. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't lost on him what he'd done out there. So humble as he may be, once I started like getting right in his face about just what that felt like to watch, he actually allowed himself to acknowledge what that felt like to surf. It was really cool, man. Fuck, it was cool. Like, it's pretty rare to get him sort of bubbly and loose and laughing and all of that on camera. So that was a pretty cool moment for me personally, because I was just like, mate, this thing needs to be fucking stuck in a frame and immortalized. I think I said at one point, that's a heat that will echo through eternity. Mate, but it was like that. We'll talk about that forever, man. That's mate, like John at Margie's and Occy in the bowl, like Slater at Pipeline, Andy at Chopes. Like, it's in that combo.
Well said, well said. And yeah, as humble as he is, he's not afraid to acknowledge the kind of surfing that he's doing, which is a rad thing. And it's interesting too, like you talk about him loosening up. Like, I actually feel like the show did that in a weird way. Because, what that show does, it fucking connects you to the pure core of Australian surfing. You're in a room with a full spectrum of Australian surfers, and it's just piss-taking shenanigans, and you can't help but loosen up a bit. And we've seen it in the past, Slater carrying that energy into the event, and it felt like, yeah, it had affected Ethan. Maybe I'm just, reading into it too much, but he was loose and limber and really enjoying his time in the bowl, and it's hard to think of a wave that really suits him better. Let's put the spotlight on his signature hack, because the whip and pivot of it into the coping, like, it's sublime. Like, it's that fanning karate kick snap to coping grind that was kind of Fanning's go-to, point earner, but it's got extra mayo on it. It's just phenomenal how he whips the turn and slides the fins to the absolute limit of control, and then feels them bite and just whips out of the turn with even more speed and impeccable flow. Just that feeling of being able to control a slide like that and wait for the fins to re-engage and kick out of the turn with a little like Cobra-esque snap and increase his momentum down the line. It's flawless surfing. It's futuristic surfing. And it really is far, far above and beyond what anyone else is doing in the world right now.
Yeah, you would dead set think we've seen it all on rail, man. And he makes you feel like the world is only just starting to open up. Like, are we starting to sort of see into another cosmos or another realm through this like black hole that is the rail of the fucking rail shaman? Because that's what it feels like. Like, you're dead right. That those kind of minute little body tweaks, they're so effortless for him. Like, it just seems to come as like a sixth sense, and there's no real projection in like look and toey to get past seggies. Like, there were moments where like other surfers were just so horny to get out to that bowl before it'd flatten out. You only get 1 or 2 seggies on that wave, 3 at best. And you could see the desperation in other surfers. Ethan's just like generating that much horsepower out of these almost just like nothing movements. Fanning kind of has it a little bit. Parko, obviously. Geordie's got it a bit, but they're a little more swoopy. Seems like Ethan just generates it purely out of this, this fucking otherworldly understanding of how rails work.
And
like it's like it's tapped into, it's just in such a different space, man. And it really is, as you say, like fucking progressing what we thought we knew about rail surfing, because it is futuristic, man.
And at this level, you just can't fall. Like, and he didn't in that heat. And I guess like it's worth mentioning the 933 backed up by the 8.5 opened him up, loosened him up to be able to take some risks. And that's what he did. I guess there was an element of risk to that final turn, the turn of the year so far, that maybe he wouldn't have been able to engage that level of risk without having that solid base of scores already. So that's a good formula for him moving forward, just to build a house and then know that just to free him up to take a little bit of risk, because once he does, enter into that realm of putting it fully on edge. No one can come near him. Like, that is the level of surfing that's going to win a world title. It has to. I mean, fuck, it's a trippy one thinking that it's all going down at Cloudbreak where he's going to be backside. But yeah, like it'll get him there. It'll get him to the number one seed in the world heading into that kind of surfing. Just having a solid base and being open and free enough to be able to just throw the kitchen sink at it.
You know what, man? There's another little element to this Aussie leg. Like, all these waves play to his strengths, right? Like, so he's got a real chance to make proper moves up that rankings towards that final five. I think he's in it already. But the Straddie crew came down in force, man. They were down there just fucking going off, mate. They did not miss a party. I've heard they've already booked hotels on the Goldie, so that'll be pretty hilarious as well to see, you know, that hometown crowd, that island energy just fucking getting in behind him as he sort of looks to erase that stumble in the next heat against Kanoa, because fuck, fair enough, man. Like, hard to maintain that energy. The next day, after that day of just pumping waves where we saw like the craziest surfing in the bowl, it wasn't just Ethan. There was a lot of stuff going down that was cool. But yeah, the energy the next day felt like going to where the party had been the night before. Like, the whole day felt flat, even despite the fact that there was opportunities around. It just didn't feel like. It felt like the whole contest was a bit hungover. Super trippy, but not surprising to me that Ethan kind of got brought undone by someone just a little bit more scrappy. Competition surfing.